Welcome back. Now, our pockets are already feeling the pinch this festive season, and now meat prices are likely to add to that burden too. The price of beef has increased quite significantly this month, and senior agricultural economist Paul Makube from FNB Business joins us now to give us some clarity on why. Mr. Makube, a very warm good morning to you. You are not the bearer of good news today. You couldn't have brought this information at the worst time. You know, on Day of Reconciliation, we might reconcile with you, but I mean, we're trying to braai with our family members, and the truth of the matter is we might be paying more. Why is this?
Thank you and good morning to you. Yes, definitely. I think we're just stating what is happening at the moment on the markets. We've seen a sharp rise in prices, especially for beef, which has actually has seen the best December in years. In fact, there's a new record for beef prices, approaching almost 60 rand per kilogram for the Class A beef, which is your premium beef. So this has to do with one, strong demand, seasonal demand. We've seen resilient demand, consumer demand, throughout the year, and this is a seasonal issue as well. But also that we have seen a supply tightness on the markets, especially due to the fact that we had favorable rains, production conditions are relatively favorable. That allows for producers to actually hold on to their stock, and also the demand for winter calves increases as a part of the herd rebuilding process. So availability, becomes a constraint, and therefore prices had to increase. That is almost across the board, except for the pork. Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about the pork then, because you're saying that it seems like pork eaters or pork meat eaters might be paying relatively less than, the beef meat eaters.
Yes, at the moment, pork has become the cheapest in the meat complex, and this has to do with increased supplies from the pork side. But this is also going to benefit the consumers of pork and switch to a more cheaper protein source, animal protein source. With chicken, we saw an upswing as well, and this has to do with local supply tightness due to the fact that imports as well have been low this year. And therefore, supplies have been relatively tight. But also, the seasonal demand has also spurred the chicken market.
Yeah. With that being said, globally, I know you gave us also just in terms of the South African context, but globally, what is the meat price index telling us here? We know that it's measured, obviously, by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, also known as the FAO. So what does it tell us, or what picture does it tell us also globally?
The situation on the international market, we saw a deceleration in prices of meat, and that had to do with in demand contraction in China. China is the biggest importer of pork, and on the international market, pork and poultry are the biggest consumed meat types. So the decline in China, which is your biggest market, actually had a knock-on effect on the meat complex, and we saw a decline a decrease in the slow pace of price in the meat complex. Yes.
Yeah. When we talk about this, we talk about it from a consumer perspective. I want to bring in the producers now. How are they faring? Surely they should be happy with the strong meat prices, but are they faring well, especially when it comes to costs?
While the prices are very strong and favorable for the producers, the situation on the cost side is very serious. We've seen escalation in costs, which almost squeezed the margins that producers are getting. And if we look at livestock, especially intensive livestock systems, the major ingredient is your maize in the feed. And therefore, maize prices remained quite elevated. Yellow maize in particular, which is mainly used for livestock feeding, is currently trading at a premium over its white counterpart, which is used for human consumption. And we're talking about 30%, over 30% year on year in price growth. And that is obviously not good news for the feeders. But you also had a continued increase in fuel costs, which affects the distribution of produce across the country. Livestock is transported from one area to another.
Right.
So that has had an impact on the costs of the producers.
I suppose it's a tough time for both consumers and producers there, but thank you for giving us a picture on the ground in terms of agriculture. Senior agricultural economist Paul Makube from FNB Business. We appreciate your time this morning.